Hey guys, welcome to this quick beauty retouching tutorial. I've decided to show you how I retouch my beauty pictures from the beginning to the very end. I've picked a picture from my recent beauty test shoot with the beautiful model Alex and makeup done by Julia. All the credits will be on the end of the video. But first, let's have a look at what we are going to do tonight. I want to fix the lashes a little bit. I want to clean up the brows. I want to take care of this area, also the basic skin cleaning. Then I need to look at the discoloration in the eye corner, and also fingers and the hands. There's a little bit different luminance level than the rest of the skin, so we'll be looking at that too. Okay, so let's duplicate the background layer and then open a new layer right here with this little button, so I can start with the cleaning the skin. I'm using a stamp tool and I'm just going to select a good area with my Alt key and just replace where I need. Just like this. I'm doing it on an empty layer, so I can anytime come back and just redo it or adjust it in any other way I need. My flow is around 60-70%, and also make sure your sample is from current and below. Okay, I'm going to speed up through this process so you don't get bored, but basically yes, I'm going to take care of all these little bits and bobs on the skin that needs to be taken care of, probably brows as well. Alright, so let me just do this. I'll talk to you in a minute. That didn't take long. Luckily we have a model with the perfect skin. Moving on to more in-depth retouching using Dodge and Burn. I already have an action here that opens up all the layers I need, including the black and white, that I find very helpful, because when we take away all the colors and add some contrast, we can see much better where we need to focus on, where are all the imperfections that we need to take care of, and especially for really close-ups and for the best results, I find it's very, very helpful. But of course there is lots of different ways how we can retouch skin. There's different ways how we're using Dodge and Burn as well. Not every retoucher or photographer is using the black and white layer. This video is just to show you how I retouch and how it works for me. So for dodging and burning, I'm using two sets of curves. Burn layer is a curve layer that is pulled down in the middle to darken the whole scene. Dodge is a curve layer that is pushed up in the middle. So basically, when I use burn layer, I'll be darkening the areas that are too light, and for dodging, I'll be lightening the dark areas. It's pretty simple. I'm using soft brush for this with flow 1%, size about 10 to 20 pixels, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. That really depends on the size of your picture and the size of the area you need to fix. But yeah, the idea is here. I click on this inverted black mask and brushing away with a white brush, making those areas lighter, because all skin imperfections are basically just to play with the shadows and the light, and if you want to make it more flawless, just turn the shadows a little lighter and turn the light areas a little darker to make them even without destructing any pixels, because we're just basically painting on the top of the original layer. This is mostly the reason I moved on from frequency separation to dodge and burn, as I find it more natural. Some photographers likes to zoom out when they do dodging and burning. I do the same. I just like to start with these little micro areas, and for them I like to zoom in real close. And again, I will be speeding up through this process, so you don't have to sit here for half an hour, watch me dodge and burn and fix all the little bits, because yes, dodge and burn is quite time consuming, especially when you're retouching skin this close up, and you want to do it real well. Just to quickly show you what I'm talking about, basically, if you never done dodging and burning before, so the idea is to get rid of all the imperfections and patches on the skin using just the curves. So here is before and after. I use 2 sets of dodge and burn curves, as I mentioned before. First one is for micro dodge and burn, and the second one is for sculpting and general dodge and burn, and I will show you that in a second. Let me just do this real quick and I'll be back with you in a minute. Alright, so that should be it for now. I just like to turn off the black and white helping layers and have a quick look if I didn't miss anything, or there are some eye areas that needs to be dealt with as well. We need to be careful with dodging and burning, as we don't want to get rid of shadows that are natural and important for the face. Same goes for the creasing on the eyes, for example. It's one of those things that everyone has, so we don't want to get rid of it completely, maybe just make it less dominant. the way, I'm using my Wacom retouching tablet for normal editing. I just find it much better and more precise than a mouse. Just here and over here, turn it a little bit. Alright, let's have a look in the bigger picture. That's after and that's before. Before and after. Okay, so before I move on to the general dodge and burn and sculpting, I just create a new layer over here, empty layer, and let's take care of the discoloration here. It's a little too yellow for my liking, just a little too distracting in the big picture, so I'll get rid of it now. And the way I do it, it's probably not the best, but again, it's not destructive and it's quick and easy and simple. So basically all I do is I press I on my keyboard for the eyedropper tool, and I take a sample of the skin right here, and I press B on my keyboard for a brush, and it's set for 1% flow, 100% opacity, and a normal mode. I'd like to change the mode for color, and let's give it about 3% opacity, and I just brush away on an empty layer the area I need to fix. It's making it a little bit smoother, but don't worry about that for now. Just paint over it, just like this. And now let's go back to your empty layer and change the blend mode from normal to color. And you can see now the color in the eye corner is just a little more matching the overall image. I like to do the same with the fingers, as they're a little more different luminance level, and they are in just a slightly different skin tone than the rest of the face. So I'll just grab the skin tone color from over here, and again bring back the brush, color mode, flow about 3%, and just go over those fingers just to make them match the skin a little bit more. See, we have some pinkish and yellowish tones over here, and we don't want them. Alright, now when I took care of all the little things, so let's move on to sculpting, and that's a different dodge and burn section. So that's done. I basically just made the shadows a little bit more deeper and highlights more dominant, but only on the areas that naturally occur on the skin, so reflections from the light and so on. But I still quite don't like this area over here, so I'll just go back to the first dodge and burn layers and we'll fix that real quick. Moving on to the lashes. And since I've started on the eyes already, I like to do them separately from my other dodging and burning layers. So I'll just create here a new layer here, fill it with the soft light and 50% grey, and with using black and white brushes I'll just do a little bit of eye enhancing. Alright, so that's done. Eyes done, with a little bit of teeth as well. That's my main dodge and burn. And here is the skin dodge and burn. And the last is the cleaning up with a little bit of lashes as well. So just to show you real quick how that looks like so far. Here is your after and before, after and before and after. Alright, so all that's left now basically is just a little bit of liquify for the lips, as I like to have them nice and sharp, and of course a little bit of color grading using curves and a selective color. So let me just get right on and I'll be back in a minute. All done, so this is the almost finished picture, before and after. When I finish, I like to go back and take one more close look at what's been done and if there is something that can be fixed yet, because sometimes you overlook things naturally, so I like to just go back and edit some details. And I usually find 2 or 3 things that needs to be taken care of, especially after a color grading when everything is almost done. Looks like it's all good, but when you take just another few seconds and go around it one more time, you can make it, a little bit more better. Okay, so that's it. The very last step I usually do is to bring one more layer, merge all the visible layers together and bring a high pass filter just to sharpen it a tiny bit. looking good. Alright, here is it all together one more time, and the last time. This is your before and this is your after. Before and after. All done with dodge and burn, curves and selective color adjustment. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Also, drop me a comment with some suggestions for the future, what to change, or do a little bit differently, talk more or talk less, or whatever. So that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Bye.